Happy New Year, everybody. It's 2020, and welcome to our next exit. This is going to be our end of the year expense report for 2019. And for New Year's, we had some friends of ours, Scott and Tammy, that we met up at Russian River up in Northern California. And this is their coach. They purchased a piece of land in Yuma, really in Wellington, Arizona, just outside of Yuma. And that's about 20 miles from where we're at. So they invited us over for some prime rib dinner. And that's Bullet and Tinker. They got along pretty good after just a little bit. You can see another dog they have out there that they're babysitting.
I think she'll.
Tinker didn't get to know that dog too good.
I think so.
Chances are he'll run her over just because he's a nut.
It's okay, be nice.
She's really tall.
He's more of a chaser. I just took him over to the field and they...
Knock, knock.
The whole meal is something new. So the whole meal is? Hey, listen, welcome to my world, Tammy.
So what is it you're fixing?
This I'm attempting is German potatoes with bacon and onions.
That sounds pretty darn
We'll
good.
see.
And you never made it before, huh?
And then we did a prime rib roast.
Oh my goodness.
That's resting in
And we had a great dinner. The prime rib
She
was
walks up
perfect.
to come in, but she.
But we've ate with Scott and Tammy 2 or 3 times, and they are just great at hosting dinners and get-togethers, fun people. And we've had them over to our place a couple times too.
yourself.
So we had a great New Year's, and then today we're sitting around putting together our budget. But for this to make any sense, I probably need to go over the spreadsheet just a little bit. This month I'm going to make it fairly brief. If you have more questions, you can look back at our last month, or every month I go through the same spiel. So just look back at one of those if you got any questions. And if you have questions about 1,000 Trails, I'll put a link up here in the corner and you can look at our 1,000 Trails video. So this is how the spreadsheet works. This column here is every expense that we had for the month of December. And we put every single thing in there. Then this column is the last 12 months. We add up the last 12 months, put it in here for a 12-month total. This column is our monthly totals. We divide the last 12 months by 12 to get that number. And then this column is for, we started our RV adventure in June of 2017. That's 31 months. So this column is all of that June of 2017 up until December of 2019. The total divided by 31 to give us a monthly average of our RV adventure since we started. And then this row up here is something we like to keep track of. It's our diesel expenses for each month divided by the number of days to see what we average spending for diesel daily that month. And then right below it is our average daily campsite fees. So that's however much we spend on campsites divided by the number of days in that month to see what we average for the month. And then for the year totals, and then for the 32-month totals as well. Okay, so that kind of explains the spreadsheet. Now let's go ahead and start plugging some numbers in and get this video on the way. The month of December, we drove 401 miles. We started out in Emerald Cove Resort. That's right outside of Parker, Arizona, right on the Colorado River. And then we went to Quartzsite. Stayed in Quartzsite for a week, went over to Casa Grande just south of Phoenix, and then we're down here in Yuma Lakes, just right outside of Yuma now. We moved 3 times. We spent 10 days in 1,000 Trails parks, 1,000 Trails and Trails Collection Park. Those we get to stay at for free. So 10 days in Fiesta Grande. And then we spent 21 days outside of 1,000 Trails where we have to pay something. And 9 of those was at Emerald Cove, that's an RPI park. 7 of them at Holiday Palms in Quartzsite. And 5 of them here at Yuma Lakes. For a total of 21 days outside of the 1,000 Trails Collection, our membership. And let's start getting into some numbers. In the December, we spent $133 on fuel. So I mentioned in our last month about our EFS card, and I got several questions about it. Let me kind of show you how it works. If you got specific questions, I'll put a link up here. But Mark and Sue, they did a great video on the EFS system and how do you apply and how it works and why they're using it. It's a great system, saves you a ton of money, saved us 50 cents a gallon here. But basically, once you apply and you get your card, and then you get a control number or a PIN number, you pull up into the truck stop, put it in the dispenser, and they'll ask you, go get authorized, and they'll ask you, do you want tractor fuel or reefer fuel? Your reefer fuel is if you're pulling a refrigerated trailer and you want diesel into a tank to keep the trailer cool to run that compressor. You don't have to pay tax on it, so it's a whole different price, a lot lower. But for your motorhome, you want tractor fuel. Then it asks you if you want DEF, and you can either say yes or no. There'll be a dispenser if you want it. We don't take DEF, so we always skip that. Then it asks you for your control number, and that's your PIN that goes along with your fuel card. Type in that little 4-digit number. And then it asks you, do you want a cash advance? Probably you'd put no, but if you did want to pick up some cash, you could pick some cash up there. We always just skip that. The main purpose for us is just to go in the fuel lanes and get out. Do you want additional products? I never have pushed that. I don't really know what that would be, but we always push no. Do you want a receipt? You can go inside, just pay attention to your pump number. You can go inside and they'll either ask the cashier, or usually they just put it right into a little tray. For each pump will have a tray, and you just go look to, like pump 14, look for tray 14 and pull your receipt out. Make sure it's your receipt and not one for the guy before you. And then it authorizes, you take the handle. It's just like a regular gas station with just a couple more questions than normal. And away you go. Now these, some pickups can't take these nozzles because they're bigger around, but you just get your pump, put it in there, and it pumps super fast. And then put it away, pull up out of the lanes. If you ask for a receipt, pull up out of the way so the next guy can get in line, and then you can go and get your receipt, come back out and pick up. You're good to go. For our campsite fees, we pay $628 a year to 1,000 Trails for dues. We pay $214 a year for our Trails collection, and we pay $150 a year for our RPI membership. We add all those numbers up for $992. We divide that by 12. We allocate $83 a month for our membership, and then whatever expenses we actually paid each month. So this month we stayed for a week at Quartzsite at Holiday Palms, and that was $244. Emerald Cove, that's an RPI parks. We paid $10 a night. For the 9 nights we spent there in December, that's $90. Yuma Lakes, we spent 5 nights there, so that's an RPI park as well. So that'd be $50. And then Fiesta Grande is a Trails collection, but I wouldn't say they're anti-dog, but they got a lot of dog restrictions there. And plus they charge you $3 a night to have a dog. So we didn't have to pay to stay in the park, but they had a $3 a day for a dog fee that you had to pay. Which, first time we ran into that. For motorhome repairs, tags, expenses, just expenses on the motorhome, we had the coach washed and waxed. That was $230. It was $200 plus we gave him a $30 tip. And our slide, our big wall slide, sheared the shaft that the gear turns on. I had some parts, I pieced one together, but as soon as we got to our site in Fiesta Grande, I called up Lippert and talked to them and ordered us one, and that was just a few days before Christmas, and they had to overnight it to us. But with the holidays and all that stuff, I just wasn't sure. They couldn't guarantee me it would get there. At Lippert, it cost $99 with the tax and stuff, and then $21 to have it shipped. It was 2-day air is what I got for $120. But I just didn't trust them, so I checked on Amazon. They had the exact same gear from Lippert for $66 and guaranteed 2-day delivery. So I ordered a second one, and Amazon's got there in 2 days, just like it said. So I had that installed in one afternoon, and then a couple days later the Lippert one showed up. They're the exact same one, packaged the exact same way, but it was twice as much for the Lippert one. So I've got another backup, which is always good. We bought a little buddy the small little Mr. Buddy that we can screw in one of the green propane tanks to, because we're going to do some boondocking in January, and we wanted some more propane heat. We have diesel heat with our Aqua Hot, but we got that as well for $64. And then our electric heater, we have a big tall electric heater that we use when we're on 50 amps. That one burned up, so we bought us another one of those for $56. And then we bought a meshed screen that we can hang up on the side of our awning, because quite often we got the sun or wind or something blowing in from one side or the other, and we've always wanted to get one of those, and we found one there in Quartzsite. So $566 was our total motorhome expenses for the month. Automobile, that's our car gas and expenses, whatever. It was $86 for gasoline, and then $10 to have the car washed. We did a lot of driving around. We've been doing some research on places to go boondocking for January, and so we went and looked at a lot of different campsites up around Quartzsite, and then again down around Yuma. So we got some miles in the car. Our RV and car insurance, this is the same every month, $1,500, and we just take our yearly cost and divide by 12 to get a monthly one. So it's $1,500 for the RV, $800 for the car, and almost $300 for a $1 million umbrella policy. We add that up, divide by 12, and stick that $223 into each month. Groceries, $1,096. Now, as you can see, we've averaged all year, we spent $11,500. We've averaged $960, and since we've been on the road, we've averaged $898. I should have talked about that a little bit more. For each one of these, you can see for each line item, we've just been spending more and more on groceries and eating. I don't know if it's more or healthy or what, but that's everything we buy in the grocery store. Food, liquor, dog food, if we buy it in the grocery store. Cleaning supplies, if we, paper towels, health, aspirins, everything from a grocery store goes in there. Seems like a lot, but it's a lot more than just groceries. Dining out was down, and that's probably why groceries up. Dining out was like $190. We have averaged $350 for the last 12 months and $280 for the since we've been on the road. So it's really down for dining out. Internet and cell phone. We have one Verizon Jetpack that's throttled at 15 gigs. We have one Verizon Jetpack that's unthrottled, it's unlimited, that we pay $65 a month for that one. And then our two Verizon phones. And then my smartwatch has a cell phone package attached to it. So all of those equals $225 a month. And that's how we get our Verizon internet. We have good luck. We also have a 25-foot mast and a directional antenna that we put up. And even when we're out pretty far, we're able to get pretty good internet. Usually, not always, but usually we can upload videos and stream YouTube videos if we want to. DirecTV, that's $89. That's the same every month, pretty much the same every month. Medical, it's going up in January, so next month it'll be different, but we pay $135 each for our Part B Medicare, and we pay $30 each for our Part D, our prescription drugs on Medicare, and $115 for Pearls. We have a Medigap Part G to help pay what Medicare doesn't pay. So Pearls is $125, Pearls is $115, and mine's $122 a month. Pet care, we went in Quartzsite. We found the best dog groomer that we found all across the country. We've had Tinker groomed all over, and we've had some pretty good ones, and we've had some crappy ones. But this was Tara's Grooming and Daycare in Quartzsite. Highly recommend her if you have a dog that needs to be trimmed. They are great, a great couple, and they know what they're doing. We're going to go take her back, I think, here in about 2 weeks, next time we get up to Quartzsite. We didn't spend anything on recreation and hobbies. $10. I bought a little program to hook up so I can use my iPad as a second screen for my computer. So when we're doing our live streams, we can have what's going out over the internet and have what I can work off the computer to move up another screen if I want to show something for live streaming. We really do enjoy that live streaming. Clothing, $19. Pearl got her Quartzsite t-shirt, and nothing in mail this month. So our totals for December, for our totals in December is $3,770. For the last 12 months, we've been averaging $5,100. And since we've been on the road, we've been averaging $4,275. So it's kind of right in the middle. $3,700, $122 a day we're spending. And that's kind of right where we've been averaging. On an annual basis, for 2019, we spent $61,192. For the last 31 months, if we take all of our expenses and divide by 31 months to get us our monthly expenses of $42.75, and then we multiply that times 12, we've averaged $51,297 since we've been doing this RV lifestyle. So that's a pretty good number there. The 61,000, pretty much what that whole thing is about is this back in March. Back in February, we had this $10,000 at Lazy Days in Tampa, Florida. And they charged us way high for everything. They didn't do half of what they charged us. They did send a mobile tech to come and fix the stuff that they didn't do. They sent one out twice. It still never got done. But anyway, that's what blew it up. That's exactly the difference here. There's one more number that we do. All of our extra money that we spend on YouTube, and I've made a number of dumb mistakes. It's cost us money that you won't have those expenses, and you probably won't have the YouTube, buying a drone, buying the cameras, and all that stuff. You take all that crazy stuff out of what we spent, $42,000 is what we would have averaged a year living the lifestyle that we're living in our coach. And that's a pretty dang good number. We have done one other number that I think a lot of you might be interested in. So here's a number that you might be interested in. This here is 2017, 2018, and 2019, what we've averaged. So in 2017, we were on the road for 7 months. So I took our totals and divided by 7 and then multiply for a monthly average, and then multiply that times 12 to get an annual average. Monthly, for 2017, we averaged $3,500 a month, or $42,000 a year. In 2018, for the whole year, we averaged $38,900, so we averaged $3,900 a month and $46,000 for the year. And in 2019, we averaged $5,000 for the month and $61,192 for the year. So you can tell it's grown up: $42,000, $46,000, and $61,000. And part of that, the first year we tried to conserve money a little bit. We didn't know exactly what we was going to spend, so we weren't really on a tight budget, but we were watching what we were spending. We got a little more comfortable with it in 2018. Plus, we went all the way to Florida. Plus we went all the way to the East Coast, and so we had a lot of miles. And we had a fair amount of maintenance. We had $6,000 in maintenance, and the car, we had $3,000 in the car. So still, maintenance is a big part of what took us up in 2018. And then 2019 maintenance is a big part of what took us up. So it's kind of gone up. Plus I started drawing Social Security when I turned 70, January of 2019. And that gave us just a whole nother revenue source. So we felt a little more flush, and so we did spend a little more money. once that Social Security check started coming in. So I started growing, but that gives you some ideas there of what we spent for the last 3 years. 42,000, almost 47,000, and then this year 61. I can't even guess what 2020 is going to be. I'd say it will probably be more than the six. I guess it'll probably be around the same 60,000, because hopefully we won't have the big maintenance, but we're going to be in and out of Thousand Trails a lot more. So we'll be a lot more, I think, state and national parks, and maybe a little bit more boondocking, but probably more parks, more KOA kind of type parks. So it'll probably be, I'm guessing, between the 55 and 60,000, but I couldn't really, I don't have any idea if it's been more or less. So anyway, that's what we're doing in 2019. Today's January the 1st of 2020. I hope you have a great new year. And if you're thinking about trying this lifestyle, we could not recommend more strongly that retirement, the full-time RV lifestyle, and a Thousand Trails membership is the way to go. It's a great way to enjoy this next chapter in your life. So until we see you again, keep the wheels rolling, stay safe. We'll see you at the next exit, folks. Bye-bye.